Hi everyone. It's today, September 13th, and I wanted to share like an update with you guys because everybody who knows my work and follows my work knows that at times I just share personal updates or updates about the collective energetic wise and stuff like that. So I wanted to do this through video recording today because typing out takes a lot of time. And I have like a lot to share. Um, well, let's see what's come through and see what I can share with you that I remember because a lot is going on. I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of things at the same time because I get a lot of emails. And so I really want to thank everybody for keep on following my work and being so supportive to me. It means a lot. I'm going through so much right now in my personal life. I'm trying to find a house with my 3 kids and move out. And as everybody know, I ended my relationship like long time ago now, a few months, and it's quite a challenge to go through that. But everything seems to be quite in order, and I'm completely trusting. So I'm also extremely busy with readings and attunements, and I want to thank everybody for being patient with me because I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of messages, requests, so it takes quite a bit of a time to reply to everybody, to talk with everybody on Skype, to do the readings, the challenge, my personal life, everything, the kids, everything at the same time. So thank you for being supportive, for keep on following my work and sending all the love that you can give because I truly feel it and it helps me a lot. So thank you, and I love you all very much. So that said, as everybody know, I'm starting like a new site with Andy Bujarski, and we're trying to get a kind of practice on the healings and the readings and life channelings, attunements. And I want to thank everybody as well for keep on following our work, even though our websites are merged. So thank you for that, for trusting us, for following us, and again, for sending your support. We truly appreciate it, Andy and I, and we thank both of you very much. It's going well. We really enjoy doing what we do. It goes along very well. So yeah, I hope to see it grow more, which it is growing at this time too. So thank you for that. Okay, but the update. Well, our bodies are being worked on pretty much, extremely actually, to be honest with you. Our physical vessels are really turning into this crystalline body that we have been speaking of for a long time now with the messages that we get. But everything seems to shift in this way that it's more progressing in a physical form, so in a physical way. It's not, as you know, everything happens etherically first, energetically, and then it takes time to descend into the earthly material, denser plane. And we are now at that stage that everything is happening in that earthly plane, the material plane. That means our carbon, physic bodies as well. So we're really shifting into this crystalline body. And so that can give quite of a uncomfortable symptoms like headaches, migraines, heartaches, nausea, or sleep patterns are changing. You cannot sleep because you're too energized, or the opposite, you're so exhausted constantly and it's draining you. So it's all perfectly normal. So every time you feel that, my advice to you is, because this is helping me, I'm just sharing from experience, grounding. It's like constantly grounding, and everything will go better because you channel the energies that come in easily by grounding. You give it space to be able and flow through you and go into the grid of Mother Earth, which she needs at this time as well. So you're really channeling at this time all the energies that are coming in, and at the same time we're expanding. What is being worked on very much at our physical level is the heart space. The heart space is really being opened up, and the more it's opening up, the more you can expand your light and your consciousness as well. So the field is totally changing and expanding in such a way that you become very sensitive at the same time, oversensitive. This is something that I am going through right now. It is oversensitivity to outside influences that are triggering me very, very much. I've always been a very sensitive person, but now it's over the top, it's oversensitivity. And that has actually to do with the fact that you're growing so much and expanding so much in consciousness that everything that does not resonate with you anymore or is really disturbing you and triggering you, and you become very sensitive to that. So that's what's been happening to me now. Since 2 to 3 weeks, Metatron has been working with me constantly. Um, as everybody knows, Lord Metatron is the one who is really working with people if you go through the ascension process with his cube and his Merkaba activation. So he's the right archangel to help you through transformation processes and through ascension processes. So he's been working with me quite a while now, because actually I've been asking him to speed up my pace of evolution, which like 1 minute after that, he completely just started to do that I felt a lot going on in my heart. And what he did is really opening up. So every time when I go to sleep, he starts his process with me, and I really feel the magnetic field around the heart being moving, expanding, opening, and changing. It's like I feel energies going inside of my heart and through the heart constantly. It gives like jolts and shocks, and actually even the feeling as if my physical heart will not beat anymore. It's like it's preparing herself to not beat anymore, and that an etheric heart is taking over instead of the physical heart. It's a really weird feeling, but I'm starting to get used to it, and I'm starting to be comfortable with it. It's because I don't feel my heart beating at times, and still I'm alive. It's a weird feeling, but it's working on putting the fear aside. Like, oh, my heart is not beating anymore, so I'm dying, or my physical vessel doesn't live anymore. But still, here I am. But it's like it's practicing this, and another kind of etheric heart is taking over. So that's the shift that I feel is taking place for me personally. And at the same time, the heart space that is opening more, and you really can feel it in the heart. The magnetic field is being triggered and moved, and you can feel movement in that as well. That they really are working on the heart. So at the same time, Metatron has told me that he has placed a cube inside of my heart to be able and let this expansion happen. He said it was needed that this expansion happens, that so that the consciousness can grow, activate more, and expand at the same time. So the more the heart is opening, the more your consciousness is expanding, and the more that your consciousness is expanding, the more you start to remember it. He said this will make it easier and possible to actually interact on a conscious way with galactics, with your family of light, with everything that you are, everything on a conscious way. So even ascending, transforming, everything, starting to do gifts on a conscious way, starting to do tasks behind the veil or bilocating, all on a conscious way. And that is true because I've been told by a friend of mine that I bilocated myself like a few times to his place in his reality, which I personally don't recall any of it. But when he started to share that I would be at that time frame visiting him in his reality, like who I am now, not from higher self. And every time I would go, all of a sudden, on an exact same time, that my alarm clock would go off, or my kids would wake me up to go to school. And it's actually always on that exact minute. So I started to feel like, yeah, this makes sense. I don't remember, but it's true. At that time, I woke up, and it fits. The story fits. And actually, I'm always very deep away at that time. It's like you're totally off the world, completely blank. Everything is completely blank. So we start to do that, and it's always fun if one of the both parties remembers what has happened. What is happening too is actually, yes, there's a conscious way in interaction too, starting with me. I've always had like a conscious interaction with the galactics, but it was merely like telepathically, or sometimes really seeing energies around me. But that has shifted too. It shifted in the way that everything I do at night when I'm asleep, which I'm always told in the morning, you want to do this or that, I really start to remember and do consciously. I met Salusa one time, very consciously as well, and that was really a trip. Let me call it a trip. It started off. I was in my room, the room where I slept, and he was sitting there, and he had like a wild tailband and white kind of, I don't know, it's not a dress, but you know, like the people from the Islam wear like just white kind of dress, and he had a big crystal, like this big, like a pendulum, like a clear quartz with the point pointing down, and he was speaking to me, and he was explaining to me how my energy field was feeling to him. He said it would be felt from high above already. They can feel that. And he said, I cannot describe what your energy feels like, but it feels so good and so strong. And he was like, try to explain in human words what it felt like. And he appeared like a shaman to me. And I was like a little kid, like listening to him, so totally excited and trying to fill in and feel what he was trying to tell me. So I started to tune in into him, like trying to feel what he was trying to tell me about my energy. And at that time, something shifted. His face completely changed, and it was actually a galactic face. So his face disappeared. The body stays the same, but just the face. And his face changed into a galactic, like, you know, like these galactic eyes, but they were like black. And he was like kind of whitish, a little bit bluish from skin, and he had like curly hair, like Salusa. And I remember that I was like yelling at him, but you're Salusa. Oh my God. Why didn't I see this just immediately? And actually, I recognized him not due to face or the hair, the curly hair that Salusa has. It was just an energetic way that I recognized him on his energetic blueprint, not the face. And at that time, that I consciously, immediately knew that I was interacting on a conscious way, and that it was not a dream, but really happening in my reality at that time. Something shifted in my brain. It's like it turned the button or something, and my entire body went into a fear state. It was just a physical aspect of myself that was reacting to the fact that I was consciously interacting. It was like, oh my God, this is consciously, and it just went into a state. So the brain really freaked out. It could not grasp the fact that I was doing this on a conscious way, because I was realizing this at that time, and then that happened. So he immediately disappeared, which is true, because if they feel fear, they just go. And I remember that I was laying down on my bed, and I was having a fight with my physical body. I wanted to continue this interaction on a conscious way, but my body was just resisting, and it was feeling numb and paralyzed due to the fear state it was put in by the brain. And so my etheric body was just trying to move up again and go back on my feet to look where he was, but my physical body would just be numb and paralyzed and stay on the bed. So I remember I was just fighting it, and I was so angry at my body. Like, why are you going into a fear state? Because I don't feel any fear. I want this, so why are you acting like this? And after that, I was like trying to grasp all of this a little bit, and I do I do understand why the galactics are taking like their time to do this, because they've always told us that even though you're so ready, you want this, still there can be fear. And it's true, because our physical aspect is coming from a long way, and we're not used to do this anymore, not on a conscious way, at least. So this is what the body does as a first reaction. And his energy was so strong. You cannot imagine how strong his energy fields were, that I feel it was actually having an impact on my physical body as well. That my physical body had like a hard time to cope with the strong energetic field that I was feeling in my field, and that it was too much. So I truly get it, why it needs to be in steps. So I'm working on this every day now to get my body used to it anymore, again. So I'm asking every night, okay, let's take it step by step. Let's have an interaction again and again and again, as much as possible, so that my physical body can adapt to the frequencies of the galactics, and all the other light beings that we might interact consciously with. So that was a very interesting shift as well, of the interaction. What is being worked on as well is the brain. I feel like a lot is going on in the brain. It's like my entire skull and head and the skin on it would constantly go in states of goosebumps. Every time somebody would tell me something that so feels true to me, my entire head goes into a goosebump state. As well, energy's pouring in, a lot of pressure on the crown that we all experience, I'm sure. And actually also inside of the brain, I feel like sometimes both of the half of the front brains are placing a kind of vibration. Like sometimes it's on the left is vibrating, then it's the right that is vibrating. And many times I feel that my entire skull and brain is like, I don't know, put in a kind of sedation or something, that is also like vibrating, but it feels like it's numb or something. I can describe it. And I was told by the Arcturians, who are the ones who are mostly performing these actions on our brains, they're working on the pineal gland inside of the center of the brain. So they isolate everything by just putting it into a vibration and just be able to work on that part to activate it more. That is going on very much as well. It's not, sometimes it gives like migraines and headaches, but most of the times for me personally, it's like it's constantly vibrating. Like it's a funny feeling actually, but it does not hurt. It's not uncomfortable at all. It's actually quite interesting to feel something vibrating inside of your head. So that's really interesting as well. What Metatron has told me is, he told me something interesting that I didn't know about the crystalline bodies. He said that activating a crystalline body is not something that is done overnight, like everybody will know probably, but he said that actually the crystalline body has 7 levels, he told me. And the higher you go into the level of the crystalline body, the less dense the form is, or the less you have a form. So he explained to me, first you change from your carbon-based body to crystalline body, and the first level would be that your cells are opening up and absorbing light, and they're opening and activating. That would be the first level of a crystalline body, the being receptive of and for light. And the real first step into changing is just the cells opening up, absorbing light, and that would be the first level of your crystalline body. He said, if you go to the highest level of the crystalline body, then you can really change your own form into just energy, formless. That would be the highest level of the crystalline body. And you can, you actually, as soon as the crystalline body is activated and you are that crystalline body, you are immortal. So actually, know that process anymore. Unless, he said, if you feel or you choose that you still want to go through that process, or you're descending yourself on a conscious way or unconsciously, then you can easily go from a crystalline body and just descend and form your own physical body again. Or actually, I feel that the first levels you still have a physical body and a crystalline body at the same time. But the more it's activated, the more it's expanding, and the more light you become visible around you, but still having this body. And the higher you go in level, the less there is like a carbon-based body, and the more you have this light body. But you are more formless then. You have like a less denser form. You still have a form, but it's less denser and less fast. So um, and then when you reach the higher state that you can be, you're pure energy. So that is what he explained to me. And if you choose to descend, because I don't know, it's getting too hard with your body, or you're just losing grip about your reality, and you're just descending again into a more denser way, then you automatically would activate your physical aspect again, and then you become mortal again. So he said this is the process that is unfolding right now, and these are the choices that you can make. So you can always become mortal again if you choose so. But once you are in the first level of the crystalline body, you are immortal already. But you always have the choice and the opportunity to go back and descend back. That's easier than going up, of course. So that was quite interesting. I had no idea that crystalline body has 7 levels, but could have known because everything has levels. The chakras have several levels. The etheric embodiments, the auras, everything has levels. So it does make sense, and I hope it makes sense to you, because this is quite interesting. Yes. So we're reaching always higher and higher levels of the crystalline body at this time as well. What is going on physically as well? Let me think. The brain, the heart, and of course, yeah, your field is changing around you. There are more Merkaba activations. The aura is expanding. Your light is expanding. You're becoming so sensitive at times. At least I am. I was having a very, very hard time the last couple of 4 days. I would just find myself, I don't know, really crying, but not just crying and tears rolling over your eyes, but really a deep pain and a deep sorrow that would just instantly during meditation come up and just take over me, and I had no control whatsoever of what was going on. I can tell you that I know it had to do with my twin flame, because we've been separated for a long, long time, and that was coming up because I feel he's more, I know, and I feel he's more, yeah, far away from me, in the sense that I know the twin flame is always in the heart, but he feels very far away from me. And he told me that he was using his embodiment again to be on Earth and, of course, work on an Azara project, but as well as what was going on in Syria, he said. So he's working on Syria, and then the collapses of the economic and everything. He's like preparing that, and everybody knows when something is going on economic and government issues, that Saint Germain is always using his embodiment to be on Earth again. So I know he's doing that, and I feel it. And so that was a deep sorrow that was coming up, and I was really crying, and I could not stop, and I had a real soul pain. It felt like a soul pain. It's the worst pain you can experience. It's like something has torn you apart, like a piece is just ripped off of you. It's really painful. So that was going on in my personal life as well, like trying to grasp everything. And it happened 3 days in a row that I would just cry so deeply that I had no idea what was causing this. So what was told to me as well was because of the expansion and the growth, and the more you expand and you grow, the more sensitive you come. And I've been experiencing the oversensitivity. So I'm very sensitive as well as to my twin flame. I feel everything he does and everything he is. So when he's here, usually I just cry of happiness. But this time it was not crying of happiness. It was real deep sorrow. And it was because I felt he was further away, because he's in the same plane serving in embodiment. And if you're in embodiment, that's duality separation again. And that is what I felt. It doesn't It did not please me at all. So, but anyway, I need to go through because he needs to do a lot. So I cannot demand him from being here constantly as well. And yesterday I was driving the car and something popped up into my mind. The idea of me going to crash with my car and leave the plane with the death process was coming in. I had no idea from where it came, but it just came through. And I was completely out of balance due to that. And I was like, no, this is fear coming up. I'm not going to play along with fear, because if you feed it and you take it for real, well, it has you in her grip, and you can play the game with the fear then and try to get out of that. And that's a hard game to play, because fear actually is very, very powerful. So that was coming up, and I was recognizing it as being not truth and just fear trying to trigger me. So I was like, no, I'm not playing this game along. I'm just letting this pass through. You can pass and exit my body and my fields. I will face them, but I will not feed them or analyze them or interact with them or take them for real. But it gets worse and worse. And it was getting so worse, like in 1 or 2 minutes, I felt myself going into almost so close into a panic mode. And that panic mode was completely losing yourself, having no grip whatsoever, and just going into a stream where you have a hard time to get out. I was even getting images of myself going into this panic mode, putting the car aside, taking my phone, calling my mom, because she's always the one I call if I need support, and really losing myself so much that I would get a heart attack and just completely, go through that process. But I would do this to myself because I was allowing fear to come in. And this fear would literally give me a heart attack and kill myself. That was the images that would come through. And I was like, no way, this is not a game or a state that I will work along or that I will do. I'm not playing along with this. So I completely dropped everything, and I just called for Archangel Zadkiel to just take everything away of fear. And I started like a release process. And I accepted the fear come through me, because obviously it was something that was deep down inside of me, because I always have feared death. I had the worst death processes you can have in past lifetimes, and many of us have been going through those same processes. And so this lifetime, it's something I need to release. So it was coming up, and it was passing my body to get out of this reality and take the exit out. So it was passing through me, and I was just facing it, and I was saying, okay, you're here. Okay, I recognize you, and now I release you. And I gave everything to Zadkiel, just passing through, giving away, passing through, giving away. I was doing this for like 1 or 2 minutes, breathing in, breathing out, grounding myself. And I reached a balanced state again. The fear was completely gone. The heartache was gone. I was relaxed again, and I felt everything going out the throat, which means that you're releasing emotions, fears, whatever that needs to be released is often through the throat, coming out. It's an expression. So, and actually, after like 5 minutes, it was completely gone, and I feel better now. And that was like 3 or 4 interesting days talking about being oversensitive. It is completely what I'm going through. So now I need to ground myself more and find a balance in the way of expanding myself, but not being oversensitive to everything around me at the same time. But it's hard because you feel so much the difference. I don't mean like levels, but I feel like frequencies and energy frequencies. And it's hard to keep a balance and shield yourself at the same time, of not letting anything else that can disturb you or that does not resonate with you touch you, because everything around you, most of the places and people around you, are not at the same resonance that you are, or are completely asleep and even dealing with aggression and anger and hate. And I cannot stand this anymore. It's getting more harder to do this. So the only thing that I could advise you to do is to really at those times, look for solitude, for time for yourself, and make yourself stronger again by connecting with the heart, grounding yourself, and really allow the growth to come forward. And just every time you shift, you need to find a way to balance yourself again. And that will be constantly like this, because every day we're just growing and growing, and every day we're getting out of balance because of that, because we're still here. And it's like, shifting and triggering you. So anyway, I think I have shared everything now personally for me. What is important to know collectively is that, yeah, everybody knows that this month is like a huge, important month. And yes, I know we tell this about every month, but it is. Every month is important. And actually, every day is important. And the further we go into this year, the more intense the energies will be. Because I truly feel we have shifted, yes, we have shifted etherically into the new world, and now it's being played out and activated in the physical realms that we are still in, which is the physical body and the earthly plane, where the collective is lingering, which is a fourth dimension. Some of us are already far ahead, like in the sense that they have left the 4D reality and are at higher planes, but we still need to linger into the 4D reality as well to help the collective to grow along as well. Because if we would all just left, then, well, I don't guess there would be a lot of light anymore here. So we need to focus on our missions, our light expansion, our own growth, and help a lot of other people because they need it. And I see a lot of people starting to awaken, but still they have like a lot of questions. So we need to be there for them as well, and for yourself as well. So, but I feel it's going the good way. So everything is coming up inside a lot of people. Fears, emotions, anger, everything they need to deal with is coming up now, straight away. Not days, not weeks. It's all coming up on the same day, constantly, simultaneously, and very strongly. So yeah, it's hard to deal with all of this at the same time, but it's you need to see this as an opportunity, because in years ago or lifetimes ago, we did not have such opportunities to work and deal with everything that we need to deal at the same time. We had probably spending more lifetimes and years to just deal with only one thing, one karmic issue, one aspect of you. Now everything is coming up at the same time. So this is a truly blessing and a gift that we're getting here. It's making it very hard for us, but hey, we chose to be here, and we are granted to be here because we are one of the strongest souls there are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So it means that we're up to it, and that we're so strong and evolved and have much knowledge inside of us. Otherwise, we could not deal with all of those things, and we are. So be confident about yourself and know that you're a strong soul and that you're up to it. So please don't lose faith and hope, but know that you're worth everything that is coming up, that it's helping you, even the hard way. It's helping you see this as a blessing and as a gift, because it will give you the opportunity to grow so much and so fast after that. And I really feel this month is about drawing the line, in the sense that, okay, now the playtime is over. Now it's really dealing with everything and working through everything. This is really the time to continue this path and move forward. We don't have any time anymore to wait and play and try out and experience. No, that has been the last couple of months, the experience time, experiencing and trying stuff and playing and say, oh, I can do this and I can that. No, now it's really doing and activating what you are and what you can do. It's really go for it and go as fast and as far as you can at your own pace that is the most comfortable for you. So I feel that this is going on. It's like up there, they're constantly nudging now and saying, yes, it's really working time, and we want to continue this. We have been waiting for too long, for so many years, thousands, billions of years. Now it's really time, because the alignments, the portals, the energetic influences that we're getting, the solar flares, everything is now in order and in the exact perfect place to help us with that. So we need to grant this opportunity and work with all of this, because this is the most perfect time you can have. And we have never ever been at this stage with body. So it's new. Every day is new. And nothing can give upfront anymore from answers. We cannot give you answers as to how it will be next month or even tomorrow, because we've never been this far. So it's really taking day by day, time by time, step by step, and just make the best of it every now moment. And that will help you a lot more than holding on to the past or holding on to what the future will bring. And the messages are helping us to understand more what is going on. But please don't hold on to time frames and dates and expectations, because yes, everything that is told in the messages is coming along your path. That is truth. But when? I don't know. Nobody knows. But they're telling us this to show you how far we are and what is awaiting us, to give like a little bit of hope and strength to continue, so that you have like a glimpse of what is awaiting you. But still, don't place a time frame on it, because it can be tomorrow, it can be next month. It all depends on your own spiritual evolution and that of the collective. But it's true that it's awaiting you. And people are far too much fixating on time. Like, yes, this has been told then, and again, soon, soon. Well, yeah, there's no other word than soon, because there's no time. And I really feel if we all drop the timelines and the existence of time, we will so make giant leaps that are overwhelming, beyond imagination. And I feel if you really can let go of time, you are setting yourself free from this matrix, and you are ready to expand more and experience more at this time. I've been experiencing this. I'm truly living day by day now, and it's making me easier because I don't have a job. I don't have a 3D job, so I'm not bounded to time frames, dates, shifts, nothing. So I just live my day constantly in the now time. And it's moving so fast if you're constantly living in a now time. It's passing you by. And I enjoy everything I do on that exact time. And that is giving me the opportunity to grow more and expand more, because I'm not bounding myself or living my life based on time frames and just, I'm not wearing a clock for a long time. The only thing that I look at the clock is to see when I get my children from school. That's the only thing that maybe bonds me to time, but except for that, nothing does. And it's such a good feeling. It gives you freedom. And if you have freedom and you feel so good. You're expanding, you're allowing yourself to grow without putting limits on it. So I feel we're growing towards that too. And this month will be very strongly. I feel a lot will start to collapse now, and a lot will come up probably too, because with every collapse, things come up too. But the way's getting more and more clear for the new, and it's all good. My God, if you only, I hope you all have been experiencing what I've been experiencing, like really doing things consciously. It's overwhelming to the mind to grasp, but don't grasp it, just enjoy it and allow everything to unfold and enjoy what you're doing. And don't try to understand, because our human brain is always tempting to, what is this and what does it mean, and always trying to grasp it. And actually, that is blocking our ways at many times. Just flow with the stream of energies that is flowing through you and around you, and really enjoy it, and you will see it will be so amazing. So much is awaiting us. So many beautiful gifts are awaiting us. I see a lot of people who are getting activated to do healings, which is wonderful. People who start to communicate telepathically, who start to feel energies around them. They're really trying their best to interact with us. The ascended masters, the angels, archangels, the galactics, very much. They're really working hard as well. I feel they're really doing a lot of stuff at this time. So it's a wonderful time that is awaiting us. So really feel um, what your body's telling you, but because the body's now under a lot of stress and pressure, and it's really transforming. This is not a fairy tale or only etherically and energetically. No, the physical change is, the makeover is done now. It's happening now. And my advice would be grounding, really. I know it sounds boring, the grounding, and it's been told a lot of times, but it is the only thing that helps me when I have heartaches or migraines, or if I feel pressure on the crown. It's because all the energies are coming in and they don't find a way and they're stuck in the head. So they give like an explosion migraine as a feeling. And if you start to channel them and just ground them into earth, you will feel the headache will be completely gone. Breathing in and breathing out and really relax yourself. If there's chaos, please just go outside, go into the forest, connect with the water. These are like maybe stupid little things, but they are helpful because nature and the elements of Gaia are here to help us with that. If you connect with those elements, you will find a state of balance again. And of course, always be in the heart, really be in the heart as much as you can. Envision yourself sitting here and feel the love and the warmth growing and expanding, and you will feel so good. I know it's a very challenging time for everybody, and I know everybody has issues financially, relationships, all of the old that is collapsing. And please try to just stay calm and connect with yourself as much as you can, and look for people um, through Facebook, through the light worker communities, people who are understanding what you're going through. Just look up to each other, support each other, make connection with other people who are going through the same. It will help you so much, and it will make the bond stronger, and it will help us all to move forward as well, because we're all family of each other. We're all here for each other. So please find your friends wherever they are, on the other side of the world, on the internet, and just help each other, share their stories, and love each other. And you will get through this. I promise you that this will help you. And if people around you who are unawakened have a hard time, well, sometimes we cannot mingle into the situations that is going on because they need their own process as well. And we have our own processes. The only thing that you can do is just be supportive, listen to them, and just send your love. And if they really ask for you to help them and you find a way that you can help them in that way, that you're not manipulating their process but giving like a little push, then go ahead. And it's just finding the balance in everything that is going on. That is very important at this time. So well, I shared everything. I've been talking like for 40 minutes, so that would be enough. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a most wonderful, wonderful time ahead. I love you all. I'm grateful for every one of you who are here, who are so supportive to me, to themselves, to others. I have seen the most beautiful friendships unfolding with me and with all the friends that I have on my Facebook, and that are supporting each other. It's wonderful to see. I love you all, and bye for now.